Hello everyone. This video is going to be about how I pot up an amaryllis bulb. But before I start that, I just wanted to share with you this amazing begonia. I got this one on sale in July, and obviously I got my money's worth. And not only this begonia, but the lobelia. This is a lavender lobelia, and this is a blue lobelia. That are in this same pot that's in a sheltered nook by our front door. Well, I would say this is pretty darn good for November the 20th. But anyway, if you're interested in how I plant up an amaryllis bulb, stick around. I'm going to be going inside and doing that right now. So here I am in my laundry room, which doubles as my potting station sometimes. And I thought I would share with everyone how I plant an amaryllis. I talked about it before, but I thought I would just go through it. This is a white one, and I wish I could give you the species, the type name, but it didn't have a name. Oddly enough, it did not have a name, but hopefully it is boxed correctly and it will be white, and it is a single white. I already had a double white, but I didn't have a single white. And I really like these, especially for after Christmas in the new year. I love the white and the pink colors because they just seem to work really well in January and February. So inside this box was it's a sort of a puck made of peat moss, which you can use warm water and it will make soil. I'm not actually going to be using this. I prefer potting soil, potting mix. So I won't be using that, but there's nothing wrong with it. I just like to use regular potting mix if I have any on hand. But I'll keep this. There might be another time when I will need that. And in this one, there was a simple black plastic pots with lots of drainage, as you see. And it also came with a saucer for underneath, which is great because that isn't always the case. Now, if you saw my previous video about planting amaryllis, this is definitely too light. It's great for a liner pot. You can pot it in this and then put this in a heavier pot, and then you won't need the saucer. But I'll probably recycle this pot for something else after, and I'm definitely going to use it today. And I bought this yesterday, so last night before I went to bed, I soaked the roots. Now, interestingly, they had most of the roots cut off. As you can see, if I come really close, the roots are an inch long at most. They are cut off very, very short. But I still soak them for 12 hours, almost 12 hours. And now I'm going to pot it up. The only other thing I need here is my potting soil. And as you can see, it's a really rich, dark mix, and that's what I prefer. And it has been pre-moistened, although it's still a little bit dry. But after I pot the amaryllis bulb, I am going to add a little bit of water. And the other thing I'm going to use is a coffee filter. And why I use a coffee filter, because the holes are so many and so big, a lot of the soil will go out through the bottom, and every time you water, it'll make a little bit of a mess. But if you just use a coffee filter inside, and I always make that one wet first so that it stays in place and it doesn't absorb too much of the water from the soil, because you want to have the soil to be moist, not really, really wet, but moist. So as you can see, the coffee filter almost disappears completely when you make it wet, but it prevents too much of the soil from falling through, and it keeps the moisture inside a little bit better as well. So I find that's really effective. So now I'm going to fill up this pot about halfway with the potting mix. There we go. It's about half full. And I use some kind of container so I don't make too much mess here on my top of my washer, actually. And so here's my amaryllis, and in the box, it already had all of the papery outside removed. I usually remove the papery outside down to the soil level. That apparently helps keep down on fungus gnats, but I didn't need to do that. That was already done with this one. And I did measure this one, and it's 28 centimeters. And just like I told you, I opened the boxes and looked in. They only had 3 of the white amaryllis at the grocery store where I was. And this one is definitely starting to grow a little at the top, but it hadn't grown out very much, and it looked really healthy. And this was the largest one, and it's 28 centimeters in circumference. And this is how I like it to be, sticking up about this much. And then you just use the soil and just place it. And I often hold the bulb and I will lean it back a bit, place the soil underneath, and then put it back like this. And as I already mentioned, I pre-moistened the soil, but it's still not quite as moist as I think it would be at its best. So I'm just pushing the soil down around, pushing down the bulb as well, trying not to be too rough. Here we go, it's nice and solid. And now I'm just going to get a trickle of water. Here we go, just a trickle. And I'm going to put a little bit of water around. Never water over the top where the stem comes out. You never water there. Just a tiny trickle around. That'll do. And that will just help. And it's not enough so that any will come at the bottom of the water. It's just enough to moisten the soil a little bit more, and also to kind of settle everything in nicely. So this is excellent. Now, there's about 1/3 of the bulb above the soil level. The soil is nice and even and solidly in there, and the soil is not too wet, and there's no water running at the bottom. So this is just what you would like. Now I can put it in this cover or saucer, and I could put this somewhere warm and where there's sun. And once it gets a little bit growing, maybe 2 or 3 inches, then I can make sure that it's in a more decorative pot, something more solid, and I can also fancy it up a bit. And I'll talk about more about that later.